Good day everyone, welcome to my blog. Today we're going to discuss the readings in Philippine history, which entitles Act of Declaration of Philippine Independence. And now, let's proceed. The Act of Declaration of Philippine Independence is a significant historical event that marked the birth of the Philippines. It took place on June 12, 1898 at the ancestral home of Emilio Aguinaldo, the revolutionary leader and the first president of Philippines in Kawit, Cavite. The declaration symbolized the Filipino people's long and arduous struggle for freedom and independence from Spanish colonial rule, and it remains a momentous occasion celebrated annually as Independence Day in the Philippines. As I read about the Act of Declaration of Philippine Independence, I am filled with sense of pride and admiration for the courage and determination of our forefathers who fought for our country's sovereignty. It is awe-inspiring to learn about the sacrifice made by our ancestors who bravely stood up against oppression and injustice and ultimately achieved independence for our nation. Next is the 1899 Constitution. The 1899 Constitution, also known as the Malolos Constitution, was a landmark document in Philippine history. It served as the first official constitution of the Philippine Republic, which was established during the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. The 1899 Constitution was drafted and adopted by Filipino revolutionary leaders in Malolos, Bulacan on January 23, 1899. It was a significant milestone in the struggle for independence, as it marked the culmination of years of resistance against Spanish oppression and the birth of sovereign nation. The Constitution consisted of 108 articles that outlined the structure and powers of the revolutionary government. Next is the Treaty of Peace, U.S. and Kingdom of Spain. The Treaty of Peace between the United States and the Kingdom of Spain is a significant historical document that marked the end of the Spanish-American War in 1898. This treaty was signed on December 10, 1898 and came into effect in April 11, 1899. It brought an end to the hostilities between the two nations and defined the term of peace, outlining the cession of Spanish territories to the United States. The Spanish-American War was a brief conflict that erupted between the United States and Spain over the issue of Cuban independence. The war began in April 1898 and lasted for 4 months, resulting in the defeat of Spain and the accusation of several of its colonies by the United States, including Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. Next is the Jose Rizal Retraction. Jose Rizal, a prominent Filipino national hero and advocated for Philippine independence during the late 19th century, is widely known for significant contributions to Philippine history and literature. Rizal's legacy as a multi-faced intellectual writer and revolutionary has been deeply ingrained in Filipino culture and society. However, one controversial aspect of Rizal's life that continues to spark debates among scholars and historians is alleged retraction from his anti-Catholic sentiments shortly before his execution. Rizal's retraction refers to the document purportedly signed by him on the eve of his execution on December 30, 1896, in which he supposedly renounced his anti-Catholic views and returned to the Catholic faith. This document has been a subject of intense speculation and controversy, with some believing it to be genuine, while others dismiss it as a forgery as a result of coercion. Is the Convention between U.S. and Great Britain. The Convention between the United States and Great Britain is a historic agreement that has a profound impact on the relationship between these two nations. This convention has been a significant milestone in diplomatic relations between the United States and Great Britain, shaping their interaction and influencing the course of history. The convention between the United States and Great Britain marked a pivotal moment in the aftermath, which had strained the relationship between the two nations. Through skillful negotiation and diplomacy, this convention was able to address the key issues and establish a framework for cooperation and peaceful resolution of disputes. One of the major achievements of the convention was the resolution of which had been a source of tension between the United States and Great Britain for years. This resolution laid the groundwork for a more stable and harmonious relationship between the two nations, setting a precedent for future interaction. Next is the Philippine-American War. Emilio Aguinaldo's proclamation of surrender to the United States. Emilio Aguinaldo, a Filipino revolutionary and the first president of the Philippines, made a pivotal decision that would forever alter the course of his nation's history. On April 1, 1901, Aguinaldo proclaimed his surrender to the United States, effectively ending the Philippine-American War and conceding defeat to the colonial power. This proclamation marked a significant turning point in the struggle for Philippine independence, and its impact resonates to this day. Aguinaldo's decision to surrender was a moment of deep reflection and contemplation. After years of leading a valiant fight against the foreign occupation, Aguinaldo faced the harsh realities of dwindling resource, internal division among his ranks, and the overwhelming military might of the United States. In his proclamation, Aguinaldo acknowledged the futility of further resistance and expressed his desire to spare his countrymen from further bloodshed and devastation. Next is the Americano period, the Philippine Independence Act. The Philippine Independence Act, commonly known as the Tidings-McDuffie Act, was a crucial legislation passed by the United States Congress on March 24, 1934, which paved the way of the eventual independence of the Philippines. This act marked a significant turning point in the history of the Philippines, as it provided a clear roadmap for the country's transition from a colony to a self-governing nation. The Philippine Independence Act, named after its authors, Senator Millard Tydings and Representative John McDuffie, reflecting the changing dynamics of the relationship between the United States and the Philippines. It acknowledged the growing demand of the Filipino people for independence and recognized their right to self-determination. However, it also reflected the concern of the U.S. government regarding its strategic interests in the Asia-Pacific region. The Commonwealth of the Philippines, Quezon's acceptance speech. Manuel L. Quezon, the first president of the Commonwealth of the Philippines, delivered his acceptance speech on November 15, 1935, after being elected to the highest office in the country. The speech, considered a pivotal moment in Philippine history, was a testament of Quezon's vision for a democratic, independent, and progressive Philippines. In this reflection, we will delve into the significance of Quezon's acceptance speech and its enduring impact on the nation. Quezon's acceptance speech was delivered at a time when Philippines was transitioning from a colonial status under American rule to a self-governing commonwealth. The speech reflected Quezon's unwavering commitment to fulfilling the aspiration of the Filipino for the independence and self-determination. He expressed his deep sense of duty to serve the nation and lead it toward a brighter future. Quezon emphasized the importance of unity, democracy, and social justice in achieving the collective goal of the Filipino people. Next is World War II, Bataan has fallen. At the same time, Bataan has fallen does not shy away from depicting the darker aspect of war. The brutality of the enemy, the destruction of lives and infrastructure, and the human toll of conflict and darkly is portrayed. The film served as a stark reminder of the highest cost of war, both in terms of lives lost and the long-lasting impact on individuals and societies. It raises both in terms of lives lost and the long-lasting impact on individuals and societies. It raises thought-provoking questions about the senselessness of war and the consequence and political and military decision. And also, Bataan has fallen is to remembering all the struggles of Filipino and American military. Last but not the least, Spanish period. Miguel Lopez de Legazpi arrived in 1564 and started colonization efforts through divide and rule tactics. The Spanish period in the Philippines, which began with the arrival of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi in 1565, marked a significant turning point in Philippine history. This period was characterized by the Spanish colonization of the Philippines, as Legazpi and his force established Spanish authority and sought to spread Christianity throughout the archipelago. The Spanish utilized various strategies to maintain control, including the infamous divide and rule tactic, which played a pivotal role in shaping the socio-cultural and political landscape of the Philippines during this era. The arrival of Legazpi in the subsequent Spanish colonization marked the beginning of a new era for Philippines. The Spanish, armed with superior military, technology, and political astuteness, they exploited existing political rivalries and alliances among the indigenous tribes and kingdoms, pitting them against each other in order to weaken their resistance to Spanish rule. That would be all for our vlog today. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye!